Hello, potato. It is very nearly carnival season, fair season. In fact, next week we should have a fair video in this very spot. And that means it's going to be time to be changing over the Lego display from the modular build to the carnival build, which means that it's going to be at least a couple, 2 or 3 Lego carnival videos coming up. And I thought for this week, before we get into fair season with county fairs and the state fair, I thought we would just do ourselves just a little small fun Lego build. As you might guess from Luke's hair over there, it is going to be a Star Wars Lego build, and that is kit 75388 Jedi Bob's Starfighter. Now, this kit is not a new kit. It came out last year as part of the release of the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy series on Disney+, which was quite a bit of fun. And for those of you in the international markets, of course, I'm calling it Jedi Bob Starfighter, but it's also Le Chasseur du Jedi Bob and Casa Estelar del Jedi Bob. So the Rebuild the Galaxy was fun. It came up with a couple nice sets, this one and the Dark Falcon, which I do definitely want to get at some point. Don't know if I'll do a video on it, just because I don't know where I'll put it if I put it together. But I definitely want it because it comes with the white Vader. I think Darth Jar Jar comes with like Vacation Luke. Now, I'm not saying this set doesn't have its own bits of fun. We do, of course, get Jedi Bob himself, an Akbar Trooper, because if you haven't watched Rebuild the Galaxy, basically it appears that in this reality, instead of cloning Jango Fett to make the clones, they cloned Akbar. And SRVO, or Servo, a Gonk droid. And you can't go wrong with a Gonk droid. I mean, it's no DJ Rex, but Gonk droid is still pretty cool. And one thing kind of surprises me on these, given that I believe it's been a few months since I've watched the show, but I believe Bob's Starfighter gets reconfigured multiple times throughout the series. I think this is its original configuration, but I do think we'd see it change multiple times throughout the show to fit different needs, because it's a show where the Lego very much knows it's Lego. It's kind of got that Lego movie vibe to it, as far as they know they live in like a Lego universe where things can be broken and rebuilt, and also features a really awesome ship in the series that is basically designed after a brick separator. Kind of surprised they didn't make a build of that, although it's not a canon Star Wars vehicle in the same way the Jedi Starfighter is, but it was still pretty impressive. So at 305 pieces, ages 8 and up, should be a pretty short little build. I'm wondering if those are going to be some decals, or that could be a decal. It could also be a printed piece, but I feel like we are going to see decals in here, possibly quite a few of them for such a small set. Let's pop it open to see what we have here as far as what's ahead of us as far as number bags. Again, 305? Yeah, 305 pieces is not a large set. Thumb punch box, and still no paper bags. Two and 1 and 3 and 4. They are small bags though. There's a number of them, but they're small. There's something loose rattling around in here as well. Probably one of the base plates. We have our instructions. Not mashed up, which is nice. We do have our decals. There they are. Knew they were going to be there. So, 7 nets? Nah, it's not great, but it's not awful. I don't do anything too small here, but I'm going to keep my tweezers at hand just in case. We do have. I think there should be 2 of these. That's weird. I feel like there should be like a second one, like the opposite of this, unless it's actually in a bag, but that's... Yeah, there is. No, that's a smaller one. No, there is. That's right there. That is the mirror to this. So why did this just not go in the bag with number 3 there? Because, yeah, that's the mirror of it. I would expect there to have been a mirror of it, and there it is. All right. Well, let's put that off to the side. I'm guessing we'll need it when we get to bag 3. There's our QR code if you want to follow. Weirdly, the app shows this as being for 1 to 3 builders, and It's a 300-piece set. I don't, I was a little puzzled on Chopper about what the other builders are supposed to be doing. Maybe somebody can work on the legs or something, but I mean, the only thing there is in this is the ship, and then the minifigures. And I guess you could have that really annoying little brother concentrate on building Servo. Servo is brick built, so I guess there could be that. But I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, there's our QR code if you want to follow along. But yeah, I don't figure it's going to take too long. Join the 25th anniversary. Yeah, this was released as part of the 25th anniversary, as well as part of, I think, what the Rebuild the Galaxy was meant to be. And although weirdly, the Rebuild the Galaxy kits did not come with 25th anniversary figures, as we've seen in things like R2-D2 and the customizable droids and the Sarlacc pit all came with special minifigures. This does not. What are we looking at here as far as the number of steps? So it's part of that anniversary year, but not part of that anniversary collection. It's like 110 steps, a mere 110 steps. That's like a third of what it was to build Chopper. Should go nice and fast. So I don't think else to say about it to start with. It looks like it should be a fun little build. Let's get into the fast forward and get her built. And about 3 minutes of fast forward time later, we are back with a completed kit 75388 LEGO Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy's Jedi Bob's Starfighter. And I had thought there was a third set in this collection. I'd totally forgotten what it was. It is the one with the swappable X-Wing and TIE Fighter, which is another cool set just because you can swap the wings out like that. Also, it's a nice X-Wing and TIE Fighter set. You know, one of the things when I was a kid, And I don't know how much, I guess kids today don't really deal with it because you don't see those commercials like that anymore. But when I was a kid, they would advertise like G.I. Joe or Star Wars figures. And the villains in the little commercial play scenes would always have like 20 Cobra Troopers or 20 Stormtroopers. And you had like one, if you wanted to form an army for Darth Vader, you had like, you had your one Stormtrooper, and then you had the Han Solo Stormtrooper, which got the helmet on it, and you had a Scout Trooper and a Snow Trooper, and those were all your Stormtroopers. And not sure where I was going with that. But that was always an issue when I was a kid. And as an adult, I do know where I was going with that. It was about having an extra X-Wing and TIE Fighter, and that is, if you already have older versions of it or different versions of it, or just the non-rebuild the Galaxy versions, it gives you the ability to have like, a little fleet of TIE Fighters to have your heroes destroy. That's where I was going with that. I got into old person ranting and totally forgot the point of what I was saying. So here we have Jedi Bob's Starfighter. I at first thought there was going to be like a big gap, like I'd done something wrong, but I just hadn't pushed in. There's like it's falling apart. It's falling apart already. There's it really is though. There is these Technic pins on here are the kind that have like, you can't see it because it didn't pull off properly. The kind that have double joints. And I simply had not pushed it in all the way. Yeah, it's in there. It's like a double length Technic pin. And yeah, I hadn't pushed it in to that second like knuckle to get it to stay properly. But now that I've fixed that, now it looks quite nice indeed. It does look quite nice indeed. We have Bob's little cockpit in here with a headrest. We have a little secret compartment where Bob can store his lunch. He has a banana and some blue milk. We, of course, being this is actually like a play set, we do have action features on here. We do have the little little blaster launchers here. Pew pew! Or not. Is it this way? Pew pew! Nope. This way. There we go. So you can take aim at the approaching Akbar Trooper. Of course, now we have the problem of only having one Akbar Trooper. And I don't know how you'd fix that. I don't think you can order extra Akbar heads through Pick-a-Brick. But you can take aim and boom! The Akbar Troopers have been obliterated. I do kind of like, they're very sensitive triggers on them, but I do kind of like these newer spring-loaded launchers compared to some of the older options. Oh, looks like down here we can store, maybe, store our extra blaster fire piece when not in use. At least, does it show that in the book? I don't think it showed that in the book, but I don't know what else you would do with this space. Not that I can seem to manipulate the blaster fire into it, but that's more to do with having giant rock biter hands, I think, than anything else. Does it show that on here though? It doesn't show that. That's a waste. That's got to be what that's for, right? It must show it in here. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But that's gotta, I can't imagine what else those could be for. But yeah, it should show you the third one put in there, just for storage sake. But it's nice, they do come with the extra one. I actually have an extra one just kind of sitting here from another set. I don't know what set it's from. It's got to be Star Wars, though. Don't know anything else I collect that has blaster pieces like that. All right, so we have our Akbar Trooper. I don't think I have. I don't think I have an Admiral Akbar minifigure, so I like the head. It's a nice sculpt. We really do need to get a Star Wars collectible minifigure series at some point. I'm sure some licensing issue with it and individual figures and stuff. But like we have Marvel ones and DC ones, we really do need Disney ones. We really do need like some Star Wars ones. Just to let you fill out your ranks with bounty hunters and stormtroopers and all that good stuff, instead of just like slowly accumulating them through buying yearly advent calendars. We have Jedi Bob. Bob has two faces. You have grim, determined Jedi face, and then we have a smiling face. He was voiced by like Bob Moynihan, wasn't he? I think that's who it was. Moynihan? Was that, am I right? Is it not? It's Moynihan, isn't it? Maybe Bob Moynihan, or Bobby Moynihan. But anyways, Jedi Bob, pretty cool. I mean, I suppose not canon except for in Lego Star Wars. Is he in the? I know he wouldn't be, would he? I was gonna say, is he in the video game? But no, the Skywalker Saga game came out, what, 2 years before this? I mean, I suppose they could have added him as DLC, but then they charge an extra $3 for it, like all the other DLC characters. And we have Servo the Gonk. No place to actually put him on Bob's ship. I guess you could open up the secret compartment, take out his lunch, and put Servo in there. He would fit about perfectly. I don't know, do his legs fit in though? Will he lock into place is my concern. You may have to like put a piece to rise him up just because I feel like these would interfere. He fits in the spot perfectly, but he doesn't lock down. Also, he would kind of be in Bob's way for navigating, wouldn't he? You do need to put the milk on this back stud. I put it originally on like the middle stud, thinking, oh, what difference is that going to make? It makes all the difference in the world because this is taller at the back than it is in the middle. All right. So it's kind of figure out exactly who this is made for. Is this made for like adult nerds like myself, or is this really made for kids? It's got the play features, I mean, and it's part of the show, but I feel like the show references a lot of stuff that's really more for adults. And there's no reason a child couldn't play with this. But I feel like this is targeting adults as much as it is kids. I don't feel like it's primarily a child's set. It's something you can put up on your shelf on display, or they have these neat like little wall hooks you can buy, I guess, that you can mount them on like they're in flight, which is kind of cool. I don't have any empty wall space to put on things on the wall, so otherwise I probably would do that. If I had like wall space, I would probably do that. So I'd feel very insecure about them potentially falling off. The decals, I had trouble with the decals. I did bust out the tweezers, even though they're like bigger ones than like stickers I usually need tweezers for. But yeah, the decals gave me issues. It seems like a pretty, as much as I like kept knocking things off when I picked it up, I did knock off the nose piece here. I think it fell off was a minifigure, doesn't belong in that spot anyways. But it does seem pretty well constructed, you know, for kids to play with. I would think if you were going to have a child play with this, I would add a handle down here. Just put something on to extend this out, just as a better place to grip. I feel like very much like I'm holding like a really heavy paper airplane right here. So yeah, I would probably, if I were like playing with, or even to child play with, I would extend this bottom out a bit, just to give you more of a hand grip. But maybe with smaller hands, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. It just feels like an issue to me because I have the rock biter hands. But overall, yeah, I like it. It's a nice little ship, fairly straightforward and simple. I feel like I may not... I feel like this is wrong. Because this isn't symmetrical between the two sides. I've messed something up here. Oh, I do see what it is. Hold on. I'll fix it. All right. That fixes that. I basically had everything on this wing set back a stud farther than it should have been. I messed up at the very beginning and just continued to mess up the whole way through. Now it looks symmetrical. That's how it's supposed to look. All right. So yeah, fun little build. Not too difficult. Fun use of, always fun to see them use things like the ice skates in interesting ways. Got some little like light up pieces, well, not light up, but kind of glowy pieces. Oh, I did accidentally fire off one of these when I was fixing it. Let's put that back in there. There really should be a spot for a third one because, I mean, I would think that the idea for those is going to be that you just store the ones just permanently in there so they don't, you know, go flying off every time you pick it up, but I could be wrong. Yeah, well constructed. I think it is. I mean, this is a situation where really there's absolutely no reason it shouldn't look perfectly screen accurate, since after all it is from a Lego Star Wars thing. It should look exactly as it does on the show, and I think it does. I haven't watched it for a few months, but I think this is accurate. And yeah, I do need to get the Dark Falcon. Kind of do want the X-Wing TIE Fighter one, but that has to be at a good price. That's Just because, I mean, they are not really particularly unique, but it is nice to have extra X-Wings and TIE Fighters. Not that I sit around and play with these things, mind you. Not at all. I do set up displays and tend to leave them away. But Star Wars doesn't usually go much in the display. The minifigures kind of go in there, but the ships and stuff... I take it back. The city display, the one that's up right now, does have the 2 cars from Solo and the Marauder, not the Bad Batch Marauder, but the actual troop carrier called Marauder, which I think is why the Bad Batch Marauder wasn't called the Marauder. It does have those in it, along with like Indiana Jones and Harry Potter and Marvel and DC and lots of stuff. A lot of the characters will move over to the Carnival, but the vehicles will go into storage until next January. But yeah, that's next month. And like I said, starting next week, we should start doing like fairs and stuff. So we're gonna see a lot of Carnival related stuff, both Carnival Lego and actual carnivals throughout at least the beginning of the summer. Got Sacramento County Fair coming up, Placer County Fair coming up, State Fair coming up, Gold Country Fair at the end of the season, and who knows, maybe check something else out in the meantime if opportunity presents. But that's the future. And this is Jedi Bob Starfighter, Le Chasseur du Jedi Bob, César Estelar del Jedi Bob. Kit 75388, ages 8 and up, and fun. I picked this up actually, they had kind of like a slight price reduction on it, so I did finally pick it up. And yeah, definitely need the Falcon, maybe need the X-Wing. Kind of think the Onyx Cinder is a higher priority to me though than the X-Wing TIE Fighter duo. But what do you think? Did you like Rebuild the Galaxy? I thought it was a fun show. I wouldn't mind seeing a second series of it down the road. What did you think of it? What do you think of the Rebuild the Galaxy kits that were released to go along with it? And have you built Jedi Bob Starfighter? What did you think of that? Let me know in the comments. But I do hope you found this all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.